Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. I'm TCaptainX. Today we're going to be breaking down a above average player's gameplay on Rebirth Island. This is from our community member Newbie. He is a 1.41 lifetime KD. He's got 20 days playing time, so he's got lots of time in the game. And I think he's kind of a really good depiction of what your slightly above average player is, who's someone that just likes playing the game. Now in this gameplay, he has a decent amount of kills, but he also makes a ton of mistakes. And there's a lot to learn from this of where he could have turned this kind of good game into a great game if he made the right decisions. This game does jump right into it. He's got a WSP9 and he is just kind of right in the action here, picking up his first kill. We kind of missed him landing in early. You know, my general rule of thumb is when we're landing in is let's focus looting, get a decent gun or two, and then get into the mix here. On this fight, he does end up kind of missing some shots here, and he gets to absolutely 1 HP. But you'll notice how as soon as he's done with that fight, he's repositioning and plating at the same time. And he's now working back to his teammates over at Control Center. I think he must have landed around 10s, kind of landed off. So in here, there's a lot going on. He's kind of just spraying down lane. He starts shooting at his teammate and stuff. One thing I think that he could have done there slightly better here is instead of just shooting down lane, he could have strafed left and right and had some input on that left stick, because that would actually increase his rotational aim assist. Maybe help him hit some shots a little bit better there. One thing that I think Newbie can work on as a player is with his aim itself. He has good aim, but he has a lot of room to improve here. Now on this one, you're gonna notice he actually starts kind of strafing slightly to the left as he's shooting that guy flying in. Kind of finds the lead there, finds how much based off that bull velocity, and is able to get those shots. But there's a lot of situations, especially at close to mid-range, where if he hits a few more shots, he might win some of these gunfights. I did just post a pretty detailed aim guide or aim tips video that's on my channel. So after this, if you feel like you need to work on your aim, definitely recommend you guys check that out. So they are getting a loadout here. They are playing together as a team here. My overall rule of thumb, again, when it comes to early game, get a decent ground loot gun, clear the area around you, and once that's done, prioritize looting and getting money so that we can get a loadout down. Because once you have that loadout down before the public one starts, now that's going to allow us to, if we die, we have a much easier regain. We can land back on the spawned loadout. Something else they did is they did take the time to loot a little bit more and get on homie to pop a UAV. And you're going to see a lot of action happening in the headquarters grandma's area. And he's going up and he's taking his time. Notice how he gets to one area. He kind of stops, pauses, anybody in my way. Again, he gets to kind of like the next area where he can start seeing people. He stops, he pauses, he starts aiming down sight, and he's trying to see, are any of these people out in the open that I can take shots on? Because you don't want to just run in, kind of, you know, put on the blinders and just run in and tunnel vision this. We want to get close to the action and then slow down and pause. Nobody's really out in front of him, so he's like, okay, we got to move up. But again, he gets into the building, he slows down, he's playing slow. Not really sure. Kind of hearing some footsteps maybe, and then bam, all of a sudden this guy's going to come up. Now, I don't know if you saw that. He is still up here, I believe, and I think he's running back this way to his left. He comes back up. Now another player is there. He's going to end up losing his gunfight. I think he made a mistake here. When this player comes up the stairs, I think one thing you'll notice here is he has a pistol. So this guy's likely landing back in, doesn't have any guns. Now he tries to use some movement here. The problem is this is a very close range situation where he's going to try to kind of break this guy's camera, but because it's such a tight hallway, this guy's just going to run right past him and it gets awkward. I think literally all he needed to do here was aim and shoot. And maybe if he wanted to, he could have, this would have been an okay time to drop shot. Instead, he kind of slides past them. He misses a good amount of shots. His aim was far from perfect here. He tries to chase him. This guy's right here. And actually, I just realized this now, he jumps out the window. And I think Newbie might have missed this maybe because his gun was sort of in the way. And now he's kind of like, where is this guy? The other mistake he makes here is he continues to kind of chase and look for this guy, and maybe he did realize he jumped out the window, but he's now not taking the time to plate, and now another player is going to enter the picture. He might have just not heard him, but I think what would have been better there is even if he let that player run by and lose him, take the time to plate before he gets back into the action. always, 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 if you have an opportunity, take the time to replate and go into a fight with full ammo, with full health, all that stuff. Now, because they bought that loadout, now the spawn loadout is coming in. The spawn loadout will drop 15 seconds before that first circle closes. And he's gonna land straight on it here. Luckily, nobody is directly by him. He's okay, he's able to get it. He's gonna immediately start working back up towards his teammates at Grandma's here. He's trying to loot here. There is a little loot cache that spawns there because he has no plates and basically no extra ammo. So his thought process needs to be, I need to get just some quick loot, get a few plates so that I'm full health, and also so I have some extra ammo. So again, he's working over to help his teammates. His teammates are obviously have gone down here and are fighting someone. We cannot hear his teammates' comms. We can only hear his comms on the recording, but he kind of has an idea that there's a player there. Again, he's taking his time. One thing I think I would like to see him do is he has picked up plates. I would like to see him be a lot quicker about putting on plates and making sure he's full health going into a fight. He does start to do that now. He's getting high alerted across from the tower building, and he is playing nice and slow, and he's just kind of watching that doorway because he knows his player is kind of lurking here. Now, this is a little bit risky what he does, but I'm okay with it. He's going to see him. He puts shots down. He gets a few shots on him. He didn't break his armor, but he definitely maybe took off a plate or two at least, and he is still full health. So he's going to say, I've got some momentum. Let's go. He comes out the window, and he does barely win that gunfight in all honesty, but because he had put some damage on him, he was okay to chase. Now, let's say he knew that player was out here and both of them were full health, he would have lost that fight. So you should only chase someone to get aggressive like that if you know you have an advantage to the fight. Now he does a good job here, immediately starts repositioning, replating. He kind of gets away in case somebody else is near, and he makes a call out to his teammate, hey, can you get that finish for me? Because he was very weak. This situation, this fight right here was all because he played it simple. He didn't do anything fancy here. He's gonna spot the guy on the roof right here, and instead of trying to get fancy and trying to hit a side cancel or do some movement or something like that, all he does is he stops and aims. Whereas the other guy tries to get a little cute with it. He tries to run off, jump at him, and because of that extra movement, that's time that he's not shooting. You have to understand of when do we use movement, when do we just aim and shoot. 9 times out of 10, just aiming and shooting is going to be good, unless you're in a situation where you realize you are at the disadvantage and you need to use movement to kind of give yourself a moment to break that person's line of sight so that you can kind of equal the fight here. In this situation, we didn't need to get cute with it. We just need to hit shots, and he does that. Again, instantly replating here, doing a good job of that. Now he's kind of looking, we're like, okay, where are people? We don't have UAV pings right now, but there doesn't seem to be any fighting going on around them. Where can we go get in the action? And he's on a pretty good game. He's on 7 kills in the second circle right now. He sees people out towards living quarters and tents. Again, though, notice how he's just taking his time. He's seeing, can he pick up kind of these easy, longer range fights? He's not just like blinders on, full sending it here. Sees an enemy landing in, is going to work back a little bit, but just kind of tells his teammates, hey, he's over here. Because he's seen a lot of people in this direction. He wants to see, can he pick up any kills over here? Now we have a UAV up, and now we have pings down here in tents. So he's going to get a little bit closer to the action, but again, he's not full sending in. I think one problem a lot of people have is they just full send in. They want every fight to be an SMG fight. Use your AR or battle rifle, whatever, to its advantage and pick up some of those mid-range fights. Right there, another situation where I think he just misses some shots. He easily could have picked up that kill with just a little bit better aim. But again, he doesn't get overly aggressive in chases. However, I would say because he cracked that guy's armor, he would have been perfectly fine to chase. I think Newbie's play style is a little bit more of that passive, play smart, play it safe instead of just full send. If your goal is to drop really high kill games, like 20 plus, 30 plus, you have to kind of just go and be aggressive, but find that very fine balance of not being too aggressive and too dumb to just run into things and die.
What?
Tough fight here, and I think I have a feeling as to why he died here. So he comes in and he does barely just see an enemy right in front of him. Now, right now he has his static SMG out. The static has been nerfed a few times to where they've nerfed the damage range. And I would assume that this range here is probably about 15 to 20 meters, and it's just past that damage range drop off. I think the static's damage range drop off for most builds is like 12 or 13. So my guess is he is just outside of that range, whereas the enemy player, and if I actually move my webcam here, you're gonna see is using a striker. The striker is an SMG, very underrated by the way, that has really, really good range for an SMG. And that's probably why he won that fight, is just that lack of that difference in range. And I think Newbie also did miss a few shots as well. And to make matters worse, there is a second enemy right in front of him. So even if he would have got that knock, he probably was going to die anyway. So hindsight 2020, him having his AR or his D tier, or the battle rifle out, might have gave him the chance to win that fight. Now here, he's gonna full send, he just goes full dive onto the public loadout that is still up. One thing I would say is take a moment to pull your chute when you first spawn in and look over it and see is anybody near there. Because if somebody was sitting on top of Factory or Nova, he probably would have no idea and wouldn't have seen them until he got close to the ground. And a big problem that people have with when they start getting into having really bad games is they just keep landing over and over on their loadout. So he's okay there. He's also going to pick up 2 really large bags of cash. If you don't know, Factory, aka Nova, can spawn huge bags of cash and is actually a really good landing spot because it tends to be a little bit high, but not as insanely high as like a control center can be. And there's a lot of loot here. So he's going to buy a UAV, which I love this. Get some information on where people are. He's also got a bounty, and his UAV is clearly, or the enemy team on the UAV is clearly in front of him at harbor, but he's by himself. There's at least, I think, 3 people in front of him. Newbie is a very good player, but he might not be at the level of solo trioing, solo quadding, especially in a sweatier lobby. And here again, you're gonna see he's doing a great job of just barely peeking off this ledge. For the enemy POV, they can only see basically his head, and he's not, you know, overextending to where his whole body is visible, but he's missing some of these shots. You're gonna see he makes a lot of them and then he misses some. His aim is good, but it's not perfect. So I do think if he improved his aim just slightly, he could be picking up a lot more kills. And then unfortunately, while he's fighting that team, a ghosted player is behind him. So he kind of trusted that UAV too much, which we are all guilty of. There's been plenty of times I've been on great games and I die to someone ghosted and I'm screaming at them. It's not his fault by any means, but that was just the case of him taking a lot of damage from that team, made him very easy to go down by the other guy that was behind him. So one thing I want to point out is he's still at 7 kills. You're going to see he has not picked up a kill really this whole past circle. He got up to a really good start, and then he's unfortunately not been able to capitalize off of some of the damage he's gotten and has made a few mistakes to dying. Now this time again, you're gonna see he kind of full dives on that loadout, and whereas someone just landed on top of Factory and now he's staring at him. Now one thing I would say there is he could have crouched maybe to get a better angle to probably shoot, but now he's just in a pretty horrible spot here. He's gonna get pushed. I like the idea that he did here to kind of lay down and kind of use like a, you know, like a sneak attack to his advantage here, but that guy's using the akimbo shotguns that are a little bit broken at the moment. Just goes down. So again, him being a little bit over aggressive there leads to him kind of having an unnecessary death because he full sent that loadout. Now this time, what I don't like that he did here is he just goes, I'm not even going to consider the loadout. I'm just going to go straight down. I think him simply pulling his chute and floating way up in the air, he could test and get an idea, is it safe or not? Now instead, he's going to land, he's going to pick up some custom guns, and he's also going to go down here and he's going to hit the biometric scanner, which will then give him the ability to get some extra cash at the buy station, also get his perks and equipment from a buy station. It's a gold key card. As long as you get anything silver and above, that's going to give you both your perks for your first loadout that you have set, then also your equipment, so your lethals and tacticals. Now, for some reason, he runs right by the buy station. He doesn't, I think he should have took the time, went to the buy station, put in the key card, and then he could have bought his secondary weapon, so his SMG, because he picked up a D tier. Instead, he kind of runs around. He's honestly just kind of wasting time here. I think he's trying to talk to his teammates and they're maybe saying, hey, let's buy a loadout for everyone. But there's a lot of wasted time here and they're just kind of taking damage. One of his teammates goes down. Instead, they need to be a little bit quicker and more decisive about their actions here. If they were if they were efficient, they easily could have bought a loadout for their whole team to get a new one. But I honestly don't know if that was super necessary. I think honestly they easily could have gone away with just buying their custom guns, like 1 or 2 of them, because there were other custom guns around them. So at this point, we're kind of just, not much is happening here because we're kind of, you know, we're not checking if people are pushing. They're not moving together as a team or anything. And this was kind of just another moment where this lack of, you know, what the game plan was and what to do, it's just kind of wasted time. So if his goal was to pick up higher kill games, this would be an improvement where you have to keep that pace up and you have to keep going. Now he does finally put in that key card, but now all of his teammates has died. Now all that money that was meant to buy a loadout is going to buy his teammates back because they were just kind of all split doing their thing. They weren't really working together.
You don't.
So he's only got this WSP Swarm here. He does have a good long range gun, but he needs to play very smart. Now here, he hits amazing shots, but one thing I would say that could have helped it even be better is he could easily mount here. If you mount, it basically eliminates all the recoil, and it's also going to make the aiming sway decrease here. So he hit great shots. But I think mounting could have made it even easier, and that's something that I see a lot of more like less advanced players. They don't take advantage of the mounting mechanic as much as they could. Now here he grabbed his wrong loadout. He's got an MCW conversion kit, which is a great gun, and he is gonna knock this guy. One thing he did a good job of here is he may or may not have recognized that that guy had a shotgun, and so he kept his distance. Shotguns are really good at like very close range, like 5 meters and within, and you're gonna see he kept that fight to like 10 meters and beyond, and played at the strength of the gun that he had. Again here, his teammates are back. They're trying to kind of pick up guns. I do think they could be a little bit more fast and efficient with this process. One thing we are approaching the end game here, and one thing that they're going to end up doing is they're kind of just again going to kind of like dilly-dally down low, and they don't really have a plan. One of their guys does go to the buy station, makes a buyback, but what I would have loved to see here is, according to this UAV, there's only 1 or 2 people at Nova with them. Everyone else is up at Grandma's or headquarters. If they were to play as a team and all rush up and together take the top of Nova or Factory, they could then very easily hold everyone that is coming from Grandma's, because they're going to have to rotate down to them. Instead, they're more focused on the people that are already on this side of the zone, and now this team has quickly jumped and moved and taken top Factory. And again, if they were just quicker about their decision making, if they were thinking ahead of where do we need to be for positioning, they easily could have gotten on top here and they would have been in the power position. But again, they're just kind of playing a little bit too passive. There are times where playing aggressive, taking good positions, pushing when you have someone's weak, that can play to your advantage, and you have to just know how to balance that aggressiveness versus playing passive and smart. Now Newbie says, let's push this, let's go. I wish he would have said this earlier, but his teammates are kind of just like, I don't know, and nobody's really doing anything. So this would be a time where, I understand this is not a ranked game or anything, but they are playing together as a party. I think they need to be like, hey, let's go. Like, we got to get together here if we want to try to win this game. You know, in the end game is when I really want to lock in and play together with my teammates here. And instead, they want to go for kind of like a,
somebody totally jumped.
I can't hear his teammates' comms, but I think they're like trying to go for like a late buy and buy something. Now I do like that I don't have a problem with them at this point accepting, okay, at this late, we have to play the low game here because the zone is going to end right on the edge here, and it's going to force this top team to either just play gas or to jump off. And because they're already down here, when this team jumps off, now they kind of have free kills here. So again, decent shots. Problem is, now we don't have a gas mask. We do have stems, and so now things are going to get a little bit hectic here. He's trying to find an area to get out of the way here and just kind of pick up kills, and he does a great job. He's picked up 3 kills here very quickly. Things are crazy. He's trying to get a live ping. He's going to pick up a kill. Okay, now things get a little crazy here. It is it's his team, so there's 3 of them, and then there's at least 1 other player left. So it's technically a 3v1, but his teammates are down. Now, he just stemmed when he was already completely full health. So he completely wasted that stem. So this is one of those things in these endgame situations, these gas plays, you have to stay calm. It's easier said than done, obviously. Again, he pops the stem and he was only at, he was above half health. So he's used 2 stems that he's basically wasted. Now, unfortunately, this buy station has closed. It is a white, when it comes white instead of green, that means it is closed. He could reopen it with a PDS, but obviously he doesn't have one. So now one thing he's gonna do, he's gonna run here, he's gonna loot here. Again, he kind of pops that stim too early as well. And I'm not sure what happened there, if he did loot that or not. And then he tries to go to the buy station, doesn't realize it's closed. He's gonna end up dying here.
I don't know, fucking bitches.
So obviously the last guy maybe had a self-revive, a gas mask, was able to live longer. But if he was just a little bit more kind of calm and patient and was able to use those stims at the right time, let it get down to at least a quarter of his health before he used it. He also could have kept looking through Nova and tried to find the little stim boxes that spawn like in the bathrooms and stuff. And then the other thing would be to, if he would have had the opportunity, because there were plenty of gas masks I saw around there. He absolutely could have looted a gas mask, maybe tried to be a little bit quicker getting to the buy station and buying another gas mask, buying munitions for his stims. He absolutely had the opportunity to make that a much longer time where he could have lived in the gas and potentially won that game from just a heal off. But guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Newbie, thank you so much for providing me this gameplay. The good thing about Newbie's game is that he has so much room to improve. And it's just once he can kind of correct some of these kind of mistakes, he could easily turn games in like this into 20 kill games and whatnot. So guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one.